long you plan on staying?
Till morning.
Till morning, okay.
We may stay till noon.
Cool. Right on.
I know, I wish we could stay longer, you know how that is.
I do. So tell me something, man. What do you think the correlation is between punk rock and skateboarding, man?
That's as old as dirt, you know what I mean? Like, basically, the only music that came before punk rock and skateboarding was like, you know, the nasty side of rock and roll that was pre-punk, you know? We'd ask Alva or something like that, you know? He wasn't listening to like Yes or, you know, or I'm trying to think of some other, the Bee Gees or whatever, I don't know. Like he was listening to like Ted Nugent and stuff that was like, you know, in your face from the beginning, you know?
Right.
So that was the punk rock of the pre-punk rock times, you know?
Right.
Like stuff that was just a little bit
edgy and crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, it's always been an outlaws kind of thing, you know? And punk rock was just a natural thing for it, you know? Obviously, I mean, everything nowadays, you know, there's plenty of alternative music that fits well with skateboarding, that's for sure.
Right.
You know, punk rock was really kind of the original thing. It's all about energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, and any kind of action sports, and especially skateboarding, I think, you know?
Totally. That leads me to my next question, too. I mean, I know a lot of bands have been influenced by Agent Orange. What bands have influenced you guys? What got you guys into that shit?
Well, that's one of those questions I always feel like I need to think about, you know? It really is important, you know what I mean? Like, give me a second to really seriously think. I mean, the stuff that really got me going in the early days, like, I mean, obviously, like, the punk stuff that I was into. We started out listening to, like, a lot of New York punk.
Yeah.
That was the first stuff I heard, really, you know? And, I mean, stuff like that.
Ramones and shit?
Ramones, like Dead Boys, or Detroit, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff started out, for sure, you know? And that definitely took us by surprise, and then from there, you know, obviously the British stuff did too, you know, and it all worked out pretty good for us. It all just made sense, you know. But I mean, even before that though, being into surf music,
right?
You know, surf music was pretty much the punk rock of its day too, because like everybody that played surf didn't even know what they were doing. I mean, that's all guys that had no ability whatsoever. They just knew what they liked the sound of it. They knew how to achieve it. You get a guitar, you know, and they just did it more off of feeling, you know.
Yeah.
It was more of a feeling than, you know, any kind of technical ability, you know.
Totally.
Which is, you know, isn't that how skating is too, you know? You just kind of, you go with how it feels, you know.
Exactly. Speaking of skateboards and punk rock, you know, I was on eBay looking for some boards to buy.
Yeah.
Saw the Agent
That
Orange.
guy hasn't sold his board yet, huh?
Starting bid, $500 starting bid.
Yeah, but he actually, that auction is like started in stock like 3 times.
Yeah, well, no.
There's a buyer out there for him though.
It'll move.
That's a rare deck actually, you know. I don't know how many were made like that, but that's the second model Agent Orange board. And that's the first one that I actually shaped, you know, like I came up with the whole nose and the side cut and the tail. Originally the tail had a little sharper corners on it. And the first one that they made for me, I took it out and, you know, that was the first thing that got really messed up was the corners of this fishtail, you know?
Yeah.
So I took an Agent Orange sticker. It's basically the same one we sell now, you know? About that big around. And I put the sticker on the edge of it and went, round it off like this, you know?
Yeah.
And that's actually, that was the final change made in the shape of that, the second board, you know? They call it the circuit board design because the graphic was taken from I went and got like a book on electronic circuits, just like copied some circuits and put them all over the place.
Fucking history on that fucking day.
At that time, I was really into 6.6 Sputnik, so I had to do something futuristic, you know.
So now the big question is the Agent Orange deck and Vision. Are we seeing a re-release in the future for the Agent Orange fans out there?
Well, I'm really hoping to see a re-release. I was hoping to have it before this Christmas. Whether it happens with the original lineup or not, we might end up just making them on our own, and or we might work with there's a company down in San Diego that I like a lot that showed some interest too. So we'll see. I'd like to remake it exactly the same as the original, you know? And I know that Draven would like to do that also. You know, we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
What does it make you feel like when you start seeing all this skateboarding shit resurfacing. I mean, the fucking Colorado, the Vision,
yeah.
fucking Santa Cruz. I mean, it's all back full force. Motherfuckers are eating it. I mean,
The Zorlak Metallica decks, all of them, they're back.
See, I'm like a historian as it is. I'm like a, I'm like an archivist, I'm one of those guys that has way too much stuff, like a lot of us, So when I see like interest in the old school, I think that's really cool, man, because, you gotta like know your roots, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think that's important, and I really kind of thought that for a while there, a lot of stuff was going to be lost in the sea of time, but a lot of people have really picked up on some of the old stuff, and I think that's really good, I mean, it's really great because certainly skateboarding has progressed so much further than I thought it ever would. I mean, I thought it would hit a wall a long time ago, so I've been like amazed year after year at the advances, just, it blows my mind. It still blows my mind beyond, I mean, it's just so rad to watch the whole history of it all unfold, and even to see like the interest in the old school, that's rad too, because it just goes to show that, people are willing to, do their homework and, and know the whole story. That's important.
How does it make you feel knowing that you got a board on eBay right now starting at $500? Now that usually happens, and it usually ends up ending at about $1,500. I mean, what is it? And it's Agent Orange. It's all about it.
What can I say? The first thing that comes to mind is, damn, I should have fucking saved a pallet of those things. I could have retired. I could be basking in the sun in Barbados.
Everyone was fucking shredding those boards, like, and now
that's the biggest thing. It's the nature of the thing itself, man. It was made to be used up. It was made to be skated until it's winter, so there was really nothing worth keeping, So how many of them? I mean, it's amazing that anybody saved them, I mean, I saved one of the first version of the Agent Orange board. I've got one, I have the prototypes, and I have the one final, production model. I've got a couple of the ones that I skated in, they're a little beat up, but I'm glad I hung on to them, but I only saved one brand new, so once again, I didn't save a box, I didn't save a pallet of them, I saved one.
So speaking of the advancement of skateboarding, how do you feel about the decks today from like 91, 92 till today, all riding the popsicle stick decks versus the 80s when you can look down and see the top of somebody's deck and be like, oh, he's riding a Tony Hawk, he's riding a Caballero.
Yeah, that's true, but you know what though, the way that street styles advanced and just, I mean, the thing had to evolve into something lighter and more,
Yeah.
I mean, we had to shed some bulk, you know what I mean? Like, this need to be streamlined for advancement, It only makes sense, I mean, what else can you do to make a board lighter,
The Agent Orange shows in California, man, like, for anybody who missed this fucking Frisco show, you're in Northern California, you're always in Southern California doing your thing, or else you're out of state doing your thing.
You know what, they only go to any place not much more than once a year, It's a great big world, and we make a big circle, and we usually don't come around more than once a year, That's how big that circle is now, I mean, you add in Europe, I mean, you go to Brazil, I mean, there's just so much opportunity for us.
What's that like, dude? Are they the same as us? Are they I mean, I know they're big skate fanatics, punk fanatics. Are they just like us? Is it the same shit?
They're a little more crazed, hey. I mean, you've seen Bob Berkowitz skate. I mean, they invented bus surfing, Young kids are just bored out of their minds. Came up with the concept of climbing up on top of the buses and fucking riding them through town, I mean, that's how bored they are,
Didn't we do that in Teen Wolf?
I mean, it's pretty crazy down there. I like it a lot, I mean, they're really dedicated people.